Welcome to Silly Season and News. So, without any ado, let's start quickly going on. Mercedes to change the car concept. Well, it has been already in the mouth of many that since they started the season, this zero-pod car. At the beginning, Christian Horner was complaining it was illegal. Then they saw that it's not very effective, to be honest, or Mercedes don't know how to make it work, right? In some racetracks they go well, in some racetracks they don't work as much as they do. Like for example in Belgium Grand Prix, where the car didn't just work at all, right? It was Russell was catching signs, but they were really far away from Red Bulls, which with the upgrades that they brought to the Grand Prix, they were actually hoping to catch the people in the front. So, are they going to change? I think in Barcelona already it was asked, and they have been asking all the time until, and probably they will keep asking until the end of the season. Is Mercedes going to change the concept? The zero pod, it doesn't work anymore. Are they going to copy the Red Bull's concept? Are they going to copy Ferrari's concept? Are they going to create something new again? Well, the thing is that the car is very unpredictable and it's kind of inconsistent in performance, right? Some racetracks like Barcelona or Hungary or this kind, it works well, but other racetracks like Spa didn't work. So maybe in Zandvoort, that there's a lot of corners and stuff, the car will work again. So maybe in straight lines, I think also helped by the engine, that the engine is not the fastest in the grid. In straight lines, it doesn't work. So, are they going to change? They are kind of considering it. They have to, I think they will wait until the end of the season to gather all the information they can from the car and see what to do next, especially since there's a lot of limitations on the development, the budget cap and all these things. I think they will wait and see what to do. However, like already thinking on next year and everything, you cannot wait forever either. That's one of the things. Then we're going to Zandvoort, as I mentioned, and DRS. You know that the last corner there's some banking, so they will try to put the DRS before the banking. Last year it was after the banking because it's a corner and everything. It was kind of risky. So they will try to put it before the banking, just because last year, even though they made the corner a little bit deeper, the first corner, it didn't work, right? I mean, let's be honest, Zandvoort is a very small racetrack for an F1 car, for the actual F1 car. For an F3 European Series, something like this, maybe, but F1, it's the racetrack is too small for such a fast car. So there is no overtaking possibilities. There is only one, which is the first corner, and that's what it is, right? So they will try to put the DRS from the last corner to till the first corner and see if they can improve some overtakings in the first corner. The rest of the racetrack, it's just corner, and no chance at all. I think if Verstappen was not in the F1, probably this racetrack would not even be considered to be in the F1. Anyway, so, deal failing off, Porsche and Red Bull. What the hell is happening? I mean, there was rumors that it was going to be announced, in Austria, then in Silverstone, then after the summer break, probably in Spa. Now they are saying maybe they are waiting for the Netherlands or Monza, right? Netherlands in front of Verstappen's fans, Monza to try to play with Ferrari's fans and everything. However, looks like the deal is kind of stalled. Honda is pushing to keep Red Bull, or Red Bull powertrains or whatever. They want to keep being in F1, especially with such a good car that they're winning everything, right? Their name being there, it's good for them without having so much investment, for example. Now they are just giving Red Bull some technical support, right? So what's gonna happen? Like if Porsche doesn't have a deal with Red Bull, who are they gonna go with? Like Williams or McLaren, for example? McLaren did already use Porsche engines in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. For 1 year, it didn't work very well. So could be. However, Porsche, I think, wanted to buy half of the team, like Audi wanted to buy 75% of the team, right? Red Bull was kind of agreeing with that to share the stuff. Will McLaren be okay with that? They already rejected Audi, so I don't know. I don't know if Porsche, for example, is negotiating with any other teams as well. Red Bull already has Honda, so there's no hurry for them, right? There's a hurry that in 2026 something is gonna come, and the sooner they get the deal, the better they can start working together already. But let's see what happens. Now that Honda kind of is pushing to keep the teams, both Red Bull and AlphaTauri, what's gonna happen with Porsche? Maybe there is no Red Bull Porsche deal anymore. Helmut Marko was asked about this, and he didn't say anything about it. He didn't confirm or deny anything. He just said nothing is signed. Honda people were seen in the paddock of Spa, which is not usually a place to go because it's a very small paddock. So the Honda people were seen in Spa in the Red Bull motorhome to speak with them, to have meetings. Like I'm the CEO of Honda Racing, not any person. Anyway, let's go to the silly season because things are starting to move. Alonso moving to Aston Martin and Vettel retiring actually kind of started some kind of war in the F1 season between teams and drivers, right? Piastri, McLaren and Alpine fighting for him, even though McLaren already said that they have many other options, not just Oscar Piastri. If they lose, it's okay for them. So Alpine actually now doesn't want to have Oscar Piastri anymore. They feel like betrayed for everything they've done for him. Oscar Piastri feels like Alpine was playing with him. Alonso felt that Alpine was focusing just in Oscar Piastri. Anyway, there is a big thing going on with Alpine, and now looks like nobody wants to go to drive for them, right? So what's going to happen? Well, Gasly was one of the names that was on the table. Gasly, we all know, since the Red Bull put the X mark on his face, has been looking for a way out of the Red Bull family, right? Tried to McLaren, tried to other teams. It was not possible. He decided to stay in AlphaTauri for another year and see what's going to happen if Hamilton retires or whatever. Now, looks like Helmut Marko might let him go if Alpine, of course, have some agreement with Red Bull, right? They have been seen negotiating in Spa together, the Alpine people and Helmut Marko, and looks like Gasly actually might be the one chosen to go to Alpine. It's an interesting thing knowing, and this is something interesting, that despite like both Ocon and Gasly being French and they have been together, they really cannot stand each other. Gasly said it was Ocon, like suddenly stopped speaking to him and being very rude to him. Ocon will say something like that as well. So I don't know if having such like a rigid, I don't know how to say, but I mean, why would you do that, right? Having a good environment on the team is one of the priorities for any team. Having two drivers that don't like to be around each other, being in the same team might be not the best decision. However, for Gasly, personally, looking for himself, actually going to Alpine, it's a constructor team. It's much more in front of AlphaTauri with more budget and more everything. It's a step forward, right? Alpine has a plan for I don't know how many years to try to be in the front once again. Will it happen? I don't know, but they need some driver that can develop the car, and perhaps Ocon and Gasly can do that. The other option would be this guy, Mick Schumacher. Looks like he is going to be breaking the deal, or Ferrari is going to not renew him. So they are not going to be there anymore. He was a Ferrari Academy driver and not anymore. So what's going to happen with him? If he's not supported by Ferrari, most probably will lose the seat in Haas, which have been pushing a lot of pressure into Mick to perform. Now that he's kind of performing, looks like Ferrari is going to let him go, so Haas will let him go. That's why, for example, I was mentioning last week, Giovinazzi is coming into the scene, right? They will be trying him in Monza and the USA Grand Prix for Ferrari and Haas instead of Mick Schumacher, obviously, and probably they will go for experience once again, as they did before with Magnussen and Grosjean. So what's going to happen with Mick? Well, Mick was supposed to be going into Aston Martin instead of Vettel, but Lawrence Stroll preferred Alonso to try to have somebody who can develop the car properly, right? So Mick, it's like only 2 years in the F1. hasn't shown anything yet so far. He didn't have the weapons to show anything anyway. The other option is Alpine as well, but now Alpine looks like it prefers Gasly rather than Mick Schumacher. Even if you have the name of Mick Schumacher, right? It doesn't count. So what's gonna happen then? Could be go to Alpha Tauri instead of Gasly, but Alpha Tauri actually have another name in their mind. Looks like Helmut Marko is showing great interest in Colton Herta from IndyCar and from McLaren, by the way. The problem with Colton Herta and having a USA driver, for example, would be very good for Alpha Tauri and for the F1 in general. And having a Herta, this guy is someone famous in the USA, right? Is that he doesn't have the super license to be in F1. Then 40 points, which is given to winning championships and podiums and this kind of stuff. He has 32 points. However, there is a small lagoon in the specifications or the standards to this super license, that there are exceptions that could be made in case you are over 30 points. So Helmut Marko and Red Bull might be actually trying to apply for this exception for Colton Herta should Gasly leave Alpha Tauri. So what the hell does this mean? I mean, Alpine has Ocon confirmed and could go for Gasly and Mick Schumacher. Ricciardo was also there, but looks like they don't want him anymore. It's like his salary is too high, and perhaps he has the experience that Alpine is looking for, with experience and speed, right? When he was there before as Renault, he already performed very well and could actually beat Ocon. So could be an option. For me, it's the logical option. However, it looks like they are not interested in him anymore. It's an old driver. They're looking for someone who could be in the team for a longer period, like Gasly. Gasly's 26 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Same like Ocon, more or less. I think Ocon is 25, but anyway, you get the point, right? Mick Schumacher is the young driver, has the name, has the thing for merchandising, whatever, has the catchy thing. Alpha Tauri, Tsunoda is not confirmed yet. It's kind of implied that he will stay on the team with the Honda backup, even though it's not in F1 directly, they are there. If Gasly leaves, I'm kind of sure that Tsunoda is gonna stay, because they cannot afford to have two new drivers in the team to learn everything from scratch, right? That's why they were keeping Gasly, for example, for many years. So the driver that Alpha Tauri wants, or Red Bull wants, would be Colton Herta. The other option would be perhaps Mick Schumacher, but they didn't show many interest in him. Daniel Ricciardo could be going back, or perhaps Alexander Albon could be going back to Alpha Tauri from the Williams, right? However, Albon was already confirmed with Williams some weeks ago. Perhaps there is something in the contract with Albon that says that if something happens, they can call him back and maybe pay some money to Williams, whatever. Latifi for sure is not going to be in F1 next year. They don't need his money anymore. So what are the options? Well, Nick De Vries was the one that was sounding stronger than ever, now that Piastri was kind of closer to McLaren, thanks to the Mercedes engine that Williams has. Mercedes engines, by the way, it's one of the most expensive engines in the F1. So perhaps with De Vries being there, they could get a discount from Mercedes, right? So if he is in the team, but he leaves, perhaps Mick Schumacher would have a place there, or perhaps Daniel Ricciardo would have a place in the team to try to bring the team back to the front, right? Albon has been in a frontline car. Perhaps he doesn't have enough experience to be developing the car, but Daniel Ricciardo does have. De Vries has been testing for Mercedes many years, but he doesn't have the experience of being in F1, so he could be considered as a rookie. So Williams actually could be having a lot of options for their car, despite being one of the last. So what's going to happen? Well, as per usual, and as I told you before, after summer things get hectic and things start confirming. Alonso was confirmed, and so on. So probably Oscar Piastri will go to McLaren. Gasly looks like it's going to go to Alpine, and Colton Herta could be going to AlphaTauri in his shoes. Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, whatever you want to call it, it's not confirmed in Alfa Romeo. However, probably is going to be confirmed. They are very happy with him. Same like Tsunoda, and same like if Mick Schumacher leaves the Ferrari Academy, Giovinazzi is going to be confirmed as the driver, especially because in F2 there is no driver that is like on top of others, right? There is Dragovic, whatever his name is, from Brazil, who is winning, but he doesn't belong to any team. So you have Sportmans, you have Lawsons, you have Armstrongs, Vips, and this kind of a Sargent for Williams, for example, who could be the option to go to Williams, a USA driver, as the F1 wants. But there is nobody like pushing to open the gates, right? As perhaps would be before. So I think the movements might be within the F1, and that's gonna be more or less, like I said, Giovinazzi to Haas, Gasly to Alpine, Mick Schumacher perhaps to Williams, and Colton Herta to AlphaTauri if they can manage to get this super licensing fixed with Albon, De Vries, whatever. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be a very interesting second half of the silly season. Stay tuned. This weekend we have the Zandvoort race. It's gonna be quite boring, if I can be honest. Verstappen is gonna win in front of his fans if nothing happens. And like last year, for example, it was a very boring race. Same like Hungary, same like Monaco. Overtaking is very, very difficult. If in FP1 they can manage to make that the DRS show some promises, whatever, perhaps you could see some overtakes. But like the rest of the racetrack, you cannot overtake anywhere. So it's gonna be a very boring race. Anyway, stay tuned. I will make an episode as usual on Fridays. And we will analyze what the hell Zandvoort is all about. See you.